Your Honor, I had Mr. Bradshaw here. I'm not sure if one of these phone numbers is Mr. Bradshaw. He was having some connectivity issues. I see that there's a phone number ending in 689. Hoping that that's Mr. Bradshaw. Anybody?
Hi, I don't think I'm the person you're looking for.
Okay.
Well, ma'am, what is your name?
Rachel Acosta?
Okay, thank you.
Well,
I know I'm the first one that showed up to court. If I'm gonna be the last one, I'm gonna hang up. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff to do, and you already told me you're gonna put me in and put me out. I got stuff to do.
Mr. Wright,
I've been in court for two
Mr.
hours.
Wright, this is
Yes,
not
you missed.
appropriate. There's other people who have also been waiting. So just
I was
one
the first-
moment.
I've been waiting since 8:10. As soon as I came out the courtroom, I was the first one in the courtroom.
are you Mr. Smith or are you Mr.
Yeah,
Zarai?
man, come on, man. I'm not gonna be sitting there waiting all day, and I got a job and shit to do too.
And now you're cursing. That's not going to make.
This is Rocky London's fault. I haven't seen this yet, but it's starting strong. I like it.
Make this court hearing go any quicker. And
Your Honor, I believe that that is Mr. Smith. I think he's mislabeled. Mr. Smith, is that you?
Who else is going to be? I've been waiting, man, waiting. You know how long I've been waiting? For what?
All right, let's
You know, I gotta
let's
get
call
to
that
the
case,
bottom.
Mr. Smith. I think this is. Are you Mr. Smith? You're Mr. Smith, right?
Yes. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? What am
All
I
right.
waiting for? I was the first
Mr.
one.
Smith, you don't need to say anything else, all right?
I was the first one on the court on Zoom court. Just like I was the first one in the courtroom. It don't make me. No, I ain't got. Ain't nobody been waiting before me. I was the first one.
him, please.
Come on now.
So, Your Honor, this is Mr. Smith. 1A0126025 is the case number. And Josh Weisteiner on behalf of Mr. Smith. Your Honor, I think where we stand with this case, Mr. Smith was in custody until mid-June. I believe he has checked in with probation and is doing well. There's still some conditions that need to be met, but that's understandable given the fact that, you know, he was been in custody. He's trying to get back on his feet. So I think this case will need to be continued so he can continue working on affirmative conditions.
Our community hours are finished. I gave the paperwork to that lady this morning.
Mr. Mercer.
I'm just asking for a second. Part of my difficulty this morning is a lot of these cases are older and have a paper file as before we transfer to an electronic system, and I don't have any of those files, given that the courts, City Hall's been closed for 2 days, and so it's been a little bit more difficult. Struggled a little bit more with some of the facts. I don't have all of the information I normally would handy. So if I could just have a second, I can. I've parsed through what I can in the docket. I'm going back through to refresh my memory, but I'm just a little
I haven't seen this, but I don't think Mr. Smith is going to stand for it.
bit more behind than I normally would, not having access to the file and our notes that we had ready.
Understood.
My general impression, though, was consistent with Mr. Weisteiner, excuse me, that I did see that community service I thought had been completed.
My
The outstanding issue, I believe, is still the business channel. It is not, sir. Is my time to talk.
completed.
The victim panel is still not due for 60 days, but I was going to mention that 60 days of the 120 allotted to him has already been passed. And so the reminder that the DUI victim panel is due in 60 days. This hearing would not have been scheduled had he not failed to appear for probation.
Actually,
Mr. Smith, give Mr. Mercer an opportunity to make his record, and then I will give you an opportunity to speak.
Sure. So we'll just
The prosecutor doesn't have the file and is being exceedingly nice. Shut up.
going to mention that the victim panel is not quite due yet. It's due in 60 days. We don't have proof that it's been completed. And I was just going to give a reminder that that is
June
due.
13th.
And that this, I was also going to say that this hearing wouldn't have been scheduled today, and there would have been no need for Mr. Smith to be here had he appeared for probation after being released from custody on April 17th. Other than that, it does appear that he is reported in June, and I don't see any other issues from Mr. Janet that need to be addressed at this time. So I don't think I have anything else to add at this time.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, and I know you don't have the entire file in front of you, but sounds as if the outstanding, which is, it's not due yet, but the
Right.
DUI victims panel.
Right. I am.
All right.
I just wanted to point out that half the time allotted has already passed. And so just a reminder to get that done within the next 60 days is all.
All right, and
Oh, is that our guy?
Mr. Weistener?
Why
I
stand?
apologize. Weistander, thank you.
Is that him top right now? I haven't seen him till now.
Is Mr. Smith currently in treatment? Or is there any treatment?
Y'all don't want to let me talk. Y'all keep on putting it on mute.
Because you're being inappropriate, Mr. Smith.
no,
We are
no,
Mr.
Y'all
Smith,
being inappropriate. Listen, y'all being inappropriate too. Because you know
Mr.
what I'm saying?
Smith,
Because first of all, my time, listen,
This isn't uncommon. I'll just say that.
okay. So
until
it's,
June 27th, and you still put me on mute. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want me to hear y'all out, but y'all don't want to hear me out. I got out June 13th, ma'am. So that means my probation, and I'm going to go see probation June 27th. So therefore, my probation starts at June 27th. You cannot count my time for putting me, you know what I'm saying, from April 17th when y'all sent, you know what I'm saying, April 17th is when I, you know what I'm saying, when y'all brought me back to court. I was done with y'all court March 5th. And y'all decided to bring me back a whole month later while I'm doing somebody else's case. To tell me what, you know what I'm saying, to bring me back in court to tell me what I need to do while I'm in score doing somebody else's case, which is number one, wrong. That's why I didn't show up to court, because, you know what I'm saying, I was doing somebody else's case.
Mr.
You know what I'm
Smith,
saying? Not that case. And then number two is, you know what I'm saying, by me getting out June 13th, I go see my probation.
I'm clipping number one. I'm warning you right now. You're going to see a lot of number one wrong on my channel going forward. It's so good. I can't get enough. And I've only seen it once.
My probation officer, June 27th, that he told me from June 27th, when I walked in his office, he said, this is when your 120 days start. He said, you got 120 days for that. I don't know what that prosecutor was talking about, half of it passed. You know what I'm saying? I've been sitting in jail when it was going. You can't do nothing in jail.
all right. So your DUI victims impact panel is due in, what's the date on that, Mr. Mercer? Or Mr. Weistener?
I'm trying to figure that out. I do believe that Mr. Smith, it's tough to read from the docket. It looks like on April 17th, the court gave 120 days. It's unclear to me if, I think Mr. Smith is trying to say that he was in custody until June, and so that 120 days should start then. I think maybe probation would have some insight as to an exact due date. That might be helpful for his knowledge as well.
Sure. And
Okay.
the point is just to give him a reminder to do it. No one is
Yes.
accusing him of doing anything.
Yeah,
It's to help him have a reminder to do it timely. That was what was represented to the court. Nothing
Yes.
against Mr. Smith.
Yes. All right. So we will continue this matter for September 11th at 8:45 a.m. Aside from there's no violation, the court's not taking any sanctions, we are giving Mr. Smith the allotted time to complete that DUI victims impact panel and have that filed with the court. If we're able to, Mr. Weistener and Mr. Smith, if you are able to file the proof of that DUI victims impact panel, we can cancel this court review. But he will remain on probation and needs to continue to check in with probation. So if proof of the DUI victims impact panel is received by September 11th, that hearing will cancel.
Okay, bet.
All right, if there's nothing else, this concludes this matter.
All right, Mr. Smith, you can go off.
They're doing it right now. Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Rocky, for that gem. That was better than I expected. Mr. Smith was on fire.
Awesome.
This isn't as fun, but it's interesting, and it was sent to me by Bama Mike.
Okay, good morning. They're going to get Mr. Osborne on the Polycom here in just a second.
Okay.
Well, I should have.
On behalf of friend of the court.
I'll get it there.
All right, sir. Are you David Osborne?
Oh, stuff it, Katie.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the record now in Ellery versus Osborne. This is case number 2218906. The record should reflect Mr. Osborne is present today by video from Otsego County Jail. We have Ms. Spillane on behalf of friend of the court present. Mr. Osborne, you're before the court today because you failed to appear for a child support hearing back on October 11th of 2023 and also on December 27th of 2023, and because the last payment you made under the current child support order was back on April 8th of 2023. Do you understand why you're before the court today?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Spillane, how does the friend of the court want to proceed with this file this morning?
Due to the failure to appear and his failure to exercise due diligence and keeping us updated with contact information, we are asking to seek contempt, and we would ask that the bond be continued until the matter can be addressed at a hearing.
Okay, Mr. Osborne, do you have any reason why you didn't show up for either of those hearings, or why you haven't paid any child support since April?
I've been without a job. I only collect Social Security. I don't even get $1,000 a month. I was homeless, and the kid is not mine. I'd like a DNA test.
Okay, so why haven't you done anything to address any of those issues until you were arrested?
I've been homeless. I've been incarcerated. I mean, I'm not.
You know, I don't know what's going on here, but we do need to get to the bottom of whether or not the kid is his. I mean, the guy is sitting in the clank specifically for child support. I mean, he may just be saying it, and it's BS. But if it's not his kid, I actually feel for him.
I'm 2 hours away. I don't have a license. I don't have a car. I don't have transportation. It's not like I'm just avoiding the responsibility. I didn't know I had court.
Did you call the friend of the
He's not avoiding responsibility. He's ignoring it.
court at any point to find out what was going on with your case?
Yes, I've called friend of the court previously. Yes.
When?
I don't have the exact dates. I have court on the 11th. If I stay locked up, I lose my place. I become homeless again. I lose my Social Security again. Like, I'm willing to work with the courts with DNA testing, with court hearings. I just need to get out so I can keep my Social Security and keep my residence. I've been homeless. I don't want to be homeless again. I don't have anyone for help. My mom died when I was little. Like, it's just me. I don't want to be homeless again. I don't want to lose my Social Security. I need to get out. I'll comply with the courts. I'll do everything. I don't even make $1,000 a month.
Okay, well, you haven't
I don't even
complied
make
with
that a month.
you haven't complied with anything since at least April of 2020.
I'm willing to comply with anything.
Well, my question is, why should I believe that when you haven't complied with anything in over a year?
Because I was unaware of it. I was unaware of it. I honest to God was unaware of it. I was in between places. I was homeless. I was incarcerated. Like, I'm aware of it now. I'll find transportation. I'll figure it out. Like, now that I'm up to date with everything, I'll comply. I'm not gonna not comply. I have court coming up on the 11th in my county. Like, I need to get out so I can keep my place, keep my income. I don't have a job right now. I don't have a license. I don't have a car. Like, if I get out, I can get transportation. I can do all that. I can't do anything from in here.
Well, you weren't doing anything
And I
when
have
you were
court
out.
coming up on the 11th.
You weren't doing anything when you were out either.
I was unaware of it.
Okay, number one, you're telling me that you forgot that you had a child here in Otsego County and that you had a child support case and that you owed child support. You forgot about that?
No, I didn't say I forgot about it.
Okay, so you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything over that period of time to contact the friend of the court, to tell him that you were homeless, to change your address, to ask to get the child support reviewed so that maybe it could be lowered. You didn't do any of that stuff, did you?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So why should I believe that now you're just all of a sudden going to start doing it?
Because this is my first time in court with you. Like, give me a chance, please.
Okay.
Let me prove myself. Let me prove myself. Give me a chance. Let me prove myself. I'll do the DNA test. I'll comply with the courts, everything. Just let me prove myself. Allow me a chance to prove myself.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to set this for a hearing as the friend of the court has requested. The court is going to continue bond until that hearing. We're going to set that for a hearing on Monday. So your next appearance before the court will be on Monday. And at that point,
I have court on the 11th. I have court on the 11th in my county.
Okay.
So you're going to hold me?
Yes, unless you can post your bond. Yes.
I don't have $1,000. I don't even make $1,000 a month. I don't even make that a month.
Then you're gonna have to wait until the hearing date. You can't postpone.
All right.
So the court will set that next hearing then. Ms. Spillane, if you can prepare an order reflecting that the court's going to set for hearing on Monday, and we'll go forward at that time.
Monday, the 15th.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Will,
thank you.
Will I get a DNA test?
You have to make that request. If you believe that you're not the father, that's something that you could have contested well over a year ago. So you're going to have to find out how to do that.
All right.
Okay, that's all for today. The court's off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Kansas versus Davy C. Esquivel. Please announce.
All right, I've got another hearing. I've got to follow up for the guy that was crying, the big blubbering baby was crying in his child support hearing from just a couple days ago. That was sent to me by Alyssa, but it's a lot like that. It might be too depressing. But this is another clip from Rocky. It's pretty fun. This guy may just get on the wrong side of Judge Webster.
Appearances.
May it please the court, the state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
William McClendon for the defendant, David Esquivel, who appears via Zoom from a separate location.
And how does he wish to proceed today, Mr. McClendon?
Your Honor, we have a plea deal.
All right. And what are the terms of that?
For a plea to count one, the state will be
No contest.
no contest.
All right. No contest to count one. And then what about count two?
The state will be dismissing the rest of the charges. Conditions of this will be 6 months jail sentence, 12 months underlying, 6 months underlying, 12 months probation, non-reporting, $100 fine, $200 in court cost, booking fee, attorney's fees, and KBI lapse.
$200 in attorney's fees. The court costs are $158.
Sorry, I missed that deal. Sorry.
You said, okay, so $100 fine, 158 court costs, 45 booking, no supervision if it's non-reporting. And what about attorney fees?
$200.
I think we typically go 250 in this district, don't we? Didn't Judge make that consistent across the board?
Yeah, it's up to $250 based on the judge's discretion.
Only recently have I been hearing you say that discretionary. But in any event, Mr. Esquivel, how do you plead to count one, possession of marijuana?
No contest.
So by no contest, you don't want to admit the charge, but you don't want to deny it and take it to trial. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is anyone making you enter this plea today by any threats or promises other than your plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
So you're pleading no contest because you want to, and do you understand that there will be no trial? You'll be found guilty most likely and unable to appeal your conviction?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then Ms. Gillette, what factual basis, if any, do you have to support a no contest plea to this charge?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant on February 17th, 2024 was the driver in a vehicle. That vehicle was traveling on US Highway 400 at approximately the 342 mile marker. That's within the bounds of Greenwood County. He was clocked first at going 91 and locked in at 88 in a 65 mile per hour zone. The vehicle was a gray Honda Accord. The officer, Deputy Clinton Hansen, approached the vehicle around US 400C 50th Road in Greenwood County. Upon approaching on the passenger side, noticed the odor of marijuana emanating from the vehicle. He was provided current insurance and Kansas driver's license for the defendant. There was a passenger that was with him. When he was asked why the vehicle smelled like weed and marijuana, he replied there had been CBD being smoked in the vehicle. The 2 containers with a cigar each were sent to the KBI lab that were found within the vehicle. Those cigars tested positive at the KBI lab with a total weight of 2.34 gram. The black containers were located in a storage compartment in the front of the floor.
Yeah, without getting into further detail, there were drugs involved.
That's where the marijuana smell was coming from, and when they were opened, you could continue to smell it. Those were seized and tested. That would constitute the possession of THC or marijuana.
Based on the defendant's plea, which I find to have been knowingly and voluntarily entered on the record, and the factual basis supporting that plea provided by the state, I do find the defendant guilty of count 1, possession of marijuana. At this time, sir, your sentence will be 6 months in the Greenwood County Jail. Your fine will be $100. You'll be assessed court costs of $158 and a booking fee of $45, $250 of court-appointed attorney fees. I will grant you a 12-month non-reporting probation. Where do you live?
In Joplin, Missouri.
You are, even though you live in Missouri where they may allow folks to use marijuana, I'm ordering that during this 12-month period, you not use alcohol or illegal drugs, and marijuana is still an illegal drug federally and under Kansas law, and it's now a condition of your probation that you not take it. And you will have, how long do you need to pay your fines and costs?
Yeah, I was gonna see what kind of payment plan we could do. I have 6 kids.
Okay.
So money goes as quick as I get it for sure. How much altogether? Can you tell me how much altogether I owe? That would give me a little better.
Just roughly, I'm thinking about $552.
Judge, you're missing the
Did I miss
KBI fee.
something?
The
KBI.
KBI fee.
Okay, 250. Oh, okay, I know where I missed it. $50.
I'll total it up here real quick, Judge.
Okay, let's see what you get that's. You think I'm missing something, huh? Okay. I've got $100 fine, 158 court costs, $45 booking, $250 attorneys. What else am I missing?
The $400 for a KBI lab, Your Honor.
Oh, I didn't hear the KBI, $400 for the KBI. Yeah, that
And,
changes it. That makes it about $952, counsel. Is that what you get?
I had 953.
53.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. 953.
If you divide that 10 months, so it's paid off 2 months early, it's $95 a month and 30 cents.
Okay, yeah, I could do that.
All right, so we're going to order monthly payments of $95.30. The first one will be due August 9th, 2024, and then you'll be due that same amount, $95.30 on the 9th day of each month thereafter.
Okay.
And if you don't pay, and if you get called in for a random UA or something, then by the court, then you better be clean, or otherwise your probation will be revoked.
So my question is because that was the whole point of me referring to the non.
All right. And here's where things go a little bit south.
Reporting probation.
Probation is because next month I'm moving to Michigan, so I'll be 16 and a half hours away. So that if you guys called me to come and take a drug test, there's no way that I'm going to be able to go 16 and a half hours to come and take a drug test. And a lot of the times I'm going to be in Canada, so I won't even be in the country.
If we have to drug test him, Judge will make arrangements with him or outside agencies.
He's an international man of mystery.
Yeah, you can always be tested in the area where you're in. There's always someplace where nearby, wherever we are, that we can get that done.
That was just my understanding, that the non-reporting was that I wasn't going to have to do any of that stuff unless I got in trouble again.
All right, now you're making me suspicious. Yeah. You're protesting a bit too much.
I'm just asking. That's because I was
probation that looks me in the eye and says, I don't want to do UAs. I plea bargained so I wouldn't have to do UAs. That just doesn't sit well, sir. It makes me think you're going to keep using, aren't you?
So I have a question, though.
Well, I had a question first.
Your Honor, I'd ask for a breakout.
You answer my
She asked him a straight question and he deflects because he's high.
my questions. Is that your intention, that you entered this plea agreement so you could keep using drugs illegally?
No, ma'am. I was just wondering how it worked, like how I was going to do it when I'm so far away. I didn't know before that I could do it from out of state, that I could do it somewhere else. That's why I was like questioning, because I didn't know how, if you guys called me, how I was going to make it,
He was wondering how he could keep using and avoid all this. To his credit, he is now backpedaling properly.
16 hours away off of the drop of a dime. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure out everything before I jump all the way in this. I just want to know,
Well, you can either jump all the way in it with probation, or you can jump all the way into the county jail. We can deny probation right now and put you in jail for 6 months if you can't do probation.
That's not what I'm saying, Your Honor. I was just asking. That's why I was clarifying. You know what I'm saying?
No, I told you for the most part it's non-reporting, but if for whatever reason we'd randomly call you and say, let's check you, go down to such and such lab, you need to do it, and you need to come back free of any illegal substances, including marijuana.
Okay.
So all you need to do is pay your fines and costs at the rate we gave you and stay away from illegal drugs, and then you don't have to worry about getting tested.
Okay.
All right. Now, are you interested in knowing how to make your payments?
Yes, ma'am. That was my next question.
All right. I'm going to give you a number to call, and they can tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
Let me grab a pen real quick.
I want that probation where I don't have to,
Actually,
drug test.
You to give him Greenwood, because I have that.
Can we do this where I don't go to jail and don't have to comply with?
All right, I'm ready.
Missy, it's the 583-8155?
The clerk's office,
Yeah.
8153.
All right. So what you're going to call is 620-583-8153. Missy, 53?
Yes.
Okay. 8153. And they'll tell you all the different ways that you can pay that, including online, which will probably serve you the best since you're going to be traveling around.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Make sure that your attorney can always find you. Make sure that you keep the county attorney advised as well of your contact information, including address, phone number, email where they can find you.
Alrighty,
Okay, thank you, sir.
thank you.
There's nothing else. We'll be in recess and you may go. Mr. McClendon, I think that's the only one you have on today's docket.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I think I will do the one for Melissa. It's an update. You guys will recognize him as soon as you see it. We'll do it real quick. I'll warn you, it is depressing. Where are we here? Let me find it.
Mr. Coleman.
Okay.
Mr. Coleman, in this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. On a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 40.
That's him. Last time we saw Mr. Coleman, he was doing one of the Today's not much better.
5 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. Do you understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
I advise you have a right to an attorney. The court would appoint an attorney to represent you should you desire an attorney. It's my understanding you wish to proceed without an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, used any undue influence, pressure, or promises to get you to appear without an attorney?
No.
Court will find that Mr. Coleman does freely and voluntarily waive his right to an attorney. Mr. Coleman, Ms. Brown has already previously been sworn. I'll have you raise your right hand to be sworn in, and we'll take some testimony.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Brown, you can proceed.
Thanks, Your Honor. Mr. Coleman is before the court on docket 2014-2547 DM. He has a monthly obligation of $20 a month on arrears and $350 for fees for $23.50. He currently has a zero support order, so he is addressing arrears only. His last voluntary payment was November 13th of 2019. That was $68.28 through an income withholding. He failed to appear on August 2nd of 23 for an adjourned show cause hearing before Your Honor. This is the 5th bench warrant. He's had 2 prior contempt findings. For 12 months of compliance, Mr. Coleman should have paid $282. He's paid nothing. Mr. Coleman booked into the Calhoun County Jail on July 2nd. The Sheriff Department is also requesting a reimbursement associated with the bench warrant and travel in the amount of $184.14. Total arrears for Mr. Coleman through the end of June are $3,925.79. Friend of the court would like the court to be aware of the fact Mr. Coleman does receive SSI, and that's been verified, but that is not his only source of income. He has monthly income from his mother's, I believe, 401k. He and I discussed in the past, and we negotiated the $20 a month payback for arrears, and Mr. Coleman has failed to make any attempt to pay on the arrearage on this case.
Okay. Mr. Coleman, do you contest or dispute any of the statements made by Ms. Brown?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Ms. Brown?
No.
Okay. Tell me, how much do you get in SSI?
$767. And then I get $196 from my mom. Just $196 to help me get through the month.
Okay. Well, Ms. Brown, it looks like from what she said, she's really been reasonable and giving you a reasonable amount. You only have to pay $23.50 per month, and you haven't paid in, 4.5 years.
The last time I paid is when I had a job.
Okay. Well, why haven't you paid when she's giving you that break and only having it $23.50? Why haven't you contributed towards that?
I told her when I did make that agreement, I can see what I had to do because I'm living in a hotel.
Okay.
And it is $1,200 a month.
Okay, why don't you move someplace else that doesn't cost so much then?
I'm looking.
Okay. You say you're looking, what have you done in the last few months to look for some place that's cheaper?
I've been trying to see if I can move to Lansing with my sister or move back home with my mom.
Nothing else?
I have no other options. I mean, I can look for apartments, but I'm a felon and I don't have ID. So that's what I'm trying.
Tell me, you said the last time you paid back in 2019 was when you worked. Why haven't you worked since then?
I am currently unemployed. I mean, because my shoulder, I had surgery on my shoulder. I had my whole labrum repaired.
I've represented about 1,000 people who've had shoulder repair surgery and went back to work at physical jobs. Just saying.
Okay. Have you looked into any occupational therapy or anything that would, again, try to take into consideration any limitations you have from your shoulder? Have you looked into that?
I do go to therapy.
Okay, I'm saying occupational therapy that say, okay, you can't do this job, but that you can do this job, or you could be employed in this field or something because it wouldn't put the strain on your shoulder.
I'm illiterate, so I don't really understand sometimes.
Okay, what about that? What do you not understand about checking into a service that would help you? And there's nonprofits, so it's not going to cost you anything. You can check into a service that would say, okay, we'll help you, see what jobs you'd qualify for, and then we'll try to help place you in those jobs. Why have you not looked into that?
I'm going to Summit Point. I have appointments with Summit Point to see what I can do. I'm pretty sure they can help me find a job.
Where?
Okay, you say you're going to go to Summit Point, so that tells me you haven't went.
No, I have appointments, I said.
Haven't gone.
Okay, but again, you haven't went previously, is that correct?
I have been. It's just they keep changing the appointment because the person has something to do.
Okay, let's get this really clear. You said that you've had appointments, but you say they keep changing appointments. Have you been in there and had an appointment, or do you not have an appointment yet?
Yes, sir. I've been in there. I get counseling there.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. What have you, in the last year, have you attempted to, have you applied for any employment, put any applications in, or done anything?
Yes, I have. I've been putting applications in several places.
Okay, let's say in the last 3 months, how many applications have you put in?
I'm convinced. I think you should let him go right there. He put in applications at several places by his own testimony.
3 or 4.
Okay. Anything else that you've done to acquire employment?
I try to do odd jobs.
Have you been doing odd jobs?
I can't get them. I had one lined up for almost $100.
And what type of work were you going to do for the odd jobs?
Mechanic.
Do you have some training expertise in that field?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I love wrenching.
You're what?
I love wrenching on cars.
I love wrenching. Have you considered selling burritos sometimes?
And your education background, sir?
12th grade.
So do you have a diploma?
No, I'm special ed, so I didn't get the diploma.
Anything else that you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
No, sir.
Thank you. In this case, court will note that Mr. Coleman has a support obligation or rearage only of $23.50. He made arrangements with Ms. Brown for that. It's very reasonable amount in this matter that he does have Social Security income of $767 per month, as well as income from his mother's 401k of $196 per month. However, he has not made any payments in this matter since November of 2019. That he states that he is living in hotels, that apparently is taking most of his money, but he's tried to move back in with his sister or with his mother, and that hasn't apparently worked out yet. He's put in the last 3 months, he's put in 3 to 4 applications at various places. I will tell you, sir, you could put in 3 or 4 applications within an hour. So, of course, not impressed with your effort over the last 3 months. And he has attempted to work odd jobs, but that didn't work out as well. And he has been going to Summit Point, but he's not, again, looked into any other sort of occupational training or anything of that nature, which would assist him in being able to work. Court will find that he's not made a good faith attempt at compliance. He's failed to refuse to comply, and he is in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, sir?
No.
Did you say no?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Brown, do we have any prior findings of contempt?
He's had 2 prior contempt findings, both of those by the referee.
Okay.
So no jail time.
Okay.
I'm doing 30 days now.
30 days for what?
Contempt.
What?
Contempt.
Okay. Well, court notes in this matter that Mr. Coleman did go in on July 2nd, so he'd be entitled to 8 days credit. What I'm going to do is sentence you to 45 days in jail with 8 days credit. Court will allow you to purge yourself of contempt by paying the sum of $500. Do you have any questions, sir?
Court with what?
Excuse me?
What'd you say?
I've given you, I've sent you to 45 days with credit for 8 days served and set a purge amount of $500. So if you were to pay the purge amount, you would not have to serve the balance of the jail time.
Okay, so if I pay, okay, so the 27th, I get paid. I can pay $500 and get out?
Yes.
Jamie Lagro, he can find $500 now that he's in the clink. What do you know?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. You're free to go. Have a good day.
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Well, there you have it. I told you it was depressing, but I played it for the same reason I watched it. It was a follow-up. I had him on a video. He was blubbering his eyes out. He came close to it here too, but this was not nearly as bad. There you have it. We've got 2 deadbeat dads. Although the first guy, I have sympathy for him if it's not his kid. I don't know if that's the case, but we can determine that with the DNA test. He seemed excited to take the DNA test. If that guy's in jail over child support on a kid that's not his, that sucks. I'm not saying that's the case, but if that is the case, that sucks. I don't know why I didn't mention this prior to today, but that's where you have it. Yeah, yep. I got my hair cut. I need one bad. I chewed out my girl Nora because she was out of town when I was in town, and then whatever. I had bad hair on 3 continents. It's not good. It's not good. It feels good now that I finally get all that off. Yay, me, I have a haircut. All right. Thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all soon.